Yes, yes, yes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Mike DeRay. How are we? How are we? Yes. Welcome, guys and girls. Welcome. Thank you once again for joining us here at Tag Radio Essex. My name is Mike DeRay, your host for today, for this morning's show, the ATN show, African Thoric Now. And guess what, guys? It is officially summer. Summer is officially here. The countdown to the summer holidays has begun. I'm sure there are those of us listeners that are preparing for, whether it be tests, exams, or closing assessments. Yes, it's almost here. The time is almost here. And just want to encourage us all to spend some good quality time with our family and friends this summer, and look after yourself physically, mentally, and especially financially. But yeah, once again, welcome to the ATN show. I am your host, Mike DeRay, here on Tag Radio. I want to take this moment just to remind us we are here on various social media platforms. That is the YouTube, which we're streaming on live right now, Instagram, Spotify, X or Twitter, and Facebook. And also, guys, we're on WhatsApp as well. Please feel free to join the conversation. You could either call in to the radio station, or you can send us a WhatsApp message. Just send us a WhatsApp message on any of the topics we're speaking about. Would love to hear from you. And yeah, welcome. I hope we've all had a great week. But speaking of great weeks, wow, what a week we have had previously. I mean, obviously I mentioned the fact that a general election has been called by our current Prime Minister. I think officially now we've got about just under 4 weeks to go until vote day. Forgive me, guys, I am parched. I'm so parched. Forgive me, sorry, this is terrible. But yeah, we have 4 or 5 weeks thereabout until election day, and yeah, our politicians are going hard for this one. We've had TV debates. We've had a bit of a scandal. For those that are not based in the UK or in Europe, we recently celebrated D-Day, which is to commemorate our armed forces, people that a joint armed force of many countries that joined together to fight in the war. I believe it's the Second World War. Look at me, I should have come better prepared, but I believe it's the Second World War. And yes, our Prime Minister left early, left the ceremonials in Normandy early. Can you imagine that? Exactly. But can you imagine that our Prime Minister left the ceremony early, bearing in mind the King was there, His Royal Highness was there. He recently had surgery regarding cancer. The President or the Prime Minister of Ukraine was there. They are currently in an active war with Russia. Quite a few veterans, some that had mobility issues, were there and stayed for the entirety of the ceremony. But the Prime Minister of Great Britain left early. And, you know, some of you may be asking, what's the big deal, you know? We have our own ceremonies and celebrations to mark this particular day? What's the big deal? Everybody cutting some slack. And to a certain point, I agree with you. For those of you that would say that, I agree. It's just a tad bit, what's the word? Ironic that a few days or a week before this particular celebration or ceremonies, our Prime Minister, I'm telling you, I'm not making this up, he toyed with the idea of reintroducing what I would refer to as a youth service, or a service to the armed forces. So the format in which I understand it would be young people that are just out of education, full-time education, would now voluntarily give about 12 months of their life to volunteer in the armed forces or some other charitable organizations. It's ironic that the Prime Minister would introduce an idea or a policy where young people are required to volunteer, essentially mandatory volunteer, a minimum of 12 months of their life unpaid to the armed forces. And the Prime Minister himself could not volunteer enough of his day to stay throughout the entirety of the ceremony, honoring people in the armed forces. It's just incredibly ironic, and I don't know if this was done intentionally. You know, some people are speculating that all of these things are to attract attention or gather negative press in the office, knowing fully well that he's going to pass the buck on to the next government. I don't know, but it's incredibly ironic. And if young people are watching, which I'm sure, you know, young people will have their eyes on this sort of stuff, and how do you now... Maybe there's something I'm missing here. I don't want to ramp on or spend too much time rambling on it, but for me, this was what was the highlight of the week, something that I just couldn't get my head around. How the Prime Minister could almost demand that young people offer service to the armed forces, and then a week later he cuts off. And it's not like there was a family emergency or anything. He had a TV appointment to debate the leader of the opposition party, which would be Keir Starmer, leader of the Labour Party. So he cut short his planned visit to at the D-Day ceremonies, just to argue with the leader of the opposition. It's a TV program. I believe it could have been rescheduled. There are many things that I'm sure the Prime Minister reschedules for the sake of priorities and importance. It's just that this particular thing wasn't one of those. Oh, it looks bad. There's no way to cut this pie that makes it feel or sound any better. And yeah, we can only wait and see the resulting outcome of these decisions. But as far as what the media and social media and how people feel about it, they are not too happy, and understandably. And I'm sure young people obviously now look at that policy that he was talking about and take it for a joke. Even I think members of the older community would probably take that as a joke as well. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you know, that's, for me, that's been the highlight of the past week. in the UK. But bringing it on to a more positive spin, let's talk about something that we have here locally in Thurrock, which is the mayoral Roll of Honor 2023 to 2024. So this is the mayoral Roll of Honor recognizes and celebrates those that have made Thurrock, which is our local borough, a greater place to live, work, learn and play. It shines light on individuals, community groups, charities and businesses that have worked hard to serve our great borough in extraordinary ways. So since we're in the halfway point of the year, I feel like it's only fair to recognize these people on our platform here at Tag Radio. And I'm sure with those listening in, those watching, you will know some of the people or businesses that will be mentioned. And please, if you can, just drop a comment for any names any people you've met. Just drop a comment and share. If you want to, please, you're more than welcome. This is a community radio station, so please share your experience with if you've met any of these people and you've had great interactions with them. Please feel free to share this experience or your experiences with them, with us, so that we could recognize them also and let them know that we appreciate them. Okay, so starting off in 2024 January, we have Yolanda Simmons, services to the voluntary sector in Tilbury Town. Also, we have Terry Brown, services to the voluntary sector in Tilbury Town. So big shout out to you, Yolanda Simmons and Terry Brown. Thank you for the great stuff that you do. Please continue, and hopefully the community can support you in many, many ways as you have supported the community. Now, moving on to February 2024. I don't know. There's something special about the month of February because we've got so many people to recognize here. So forgive me if I butcher the pronunciations of these names. But here we go. We have Albertina Aparicio, services to midwifery. We have Terry Austin, services to the voluntary sector in Purfleet on Thames. We have Vive Crouch, services to Stifford Clay's Medical Centre. We have Rebecca Dale, services to the voluntary centre in Purfleet on Thames. We have Reg Goldsmith, services to the local community. Kyra Hodgins, services to the voluntary sector in Purfleet on Thames. Tina Holland, services to the Grace Community Hub. Len Orpin, services to the voluntary sector within the community. Joanne Roberts, services to the voluntary sector in Purfleet on Thames. Thank you so much to all you wonderful, fantastic people. Now, moving on to the month of March, we have Cameron Sadiq, I believe that is pronounced, and services to the communities of Belhurst and Ockenden. Thank you so much, Cameron. We also have moving on to April 2024, we have Laura Mihaj for services to the community, and Chloe Miles for the services to the environment. And May 2024, we have a company, the South Road Pharmacy, for services to the local community. So guys, please, if you know anybody here, if you run into any of these people, please honor them, show them some love from everybody in the community. These are people that are volunteering, giving up time, sacrificing to make our community a safer, better place to live and work in. So yeah, let's just honor them. Let's honor them, please, and thank you. Wow. So yeah, I think we've covered quite a lot of ground there. I've been talking for a while. Let's take a quick break. We're gonna have a nice selection of tunes. Some you know, some you may not know, but it's definitely gonna be a good time. Once again, this is your host Mike DeRay on Tag Radio with the ATN show.
I want boys done hammer. You wearing no Prada. Say sitting in the corner. Yeah, we Gucci and Gabbana. I want boys done hammer. You wearing no Prada. Say sitting in the corner. Yeah, we Gucci and Gabbana. I want boys done hammer. You wearing no Prada. Oh yeah, ask your mommy. I want lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your daddy. I want lay what bad money go ask your mommy. I want lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your daddy. I want lay what bad gun. Yeah, hey, me with more bad gun. Spend the money in large gun. The money too much we dash gun. But what they say they ras gun. Now who do this be? Sam Clef nonny. Now who make him here? Weezy nonny. Chilling with my guy Piper nonny. And we keeping it real. Oh yeah, come on, let my jolo, baby, my jolo. Oh yeah, come on, let my jolo, baby, my jolo. Money go, come on, let my jolo, baby. Money go, come on, let my jolo, baby, my jolo. Say sitting in the corner, yeah, we Gucci and Gabbana. Our boys done hammer, you wearing our Prada. Say sitting in the corner, yeah, we Gucci and Gabbana. Our boys done hammer, we wearing our Prada. Oh yeah, ask your mommy. I want lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your daddy. I want lay what bad money go ask your mommy. I want lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your daddy. What bad gun? I want lay what bad gun. Yeah, your money can't move me. My money and your money no be mates. Your money can't move me. My money and your money know they're the same weight. See my money too large, oh. This boy too bad, oh. The girls them love my style, that's why they want to do me. This girl she want to do me. That girl she want to do me. This girl she want to do me. That girl Steffi want do me. See this girl she want to do me. That girl Steffi want do me. Your girlfriend she want do me. This girl Steffi want do me. Oh yeah, come on, let my jolo, baby. Money go come on, let my jolo, baby. Money go come on, let my jolo, baby. Money go come on, let my jolo, baby. Say sitting in the corner, yeah, we Gucci and Gabbana. Our boys done hammer, you wearing our Prada. Say sitting in the corner, yeah, we Gucci and Gabbana. Our boys done hammer, we wearing our Prada. Oh yeah, ask your mommy. I want lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your daddy. I want lay what bad gun. Money go ask your mommy. I want lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your daddy. I want lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your mommy. Bad gun. I want lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your daddy. Bad gun. I want lay what bad. Money go ask your mommy. Bad gun. Me will lay what bad gun. Oh yeah, ask your daddy. Bad gun. I want lay what bad gun. Yeah, bad gun. Oh yeah, more bad gun. Yeah, baby, no doubt me. Put on me, lucky. Give it to me, lucky. Don't let your mother know. Yeah, don't let your father know. Yeah, don't let your mother know. Take it gently, lucky. Don't let your mother know. Take it gently, lucky.
Yes, that was Wizkid with Don't Dull. Now we are jumping up to the new school with Ira Star Away. Let's go.
Alpha, make you know they bother with me. Your father, what you wanna acquire with me? Stutter like a motherfucker. I do not like it when you call me. When you been the flex, with them girls up, peace, you the flex. You can't the vex. On top saying no one stress, yeah. So when you gonna understand? You can never be the man I stand. You can never be the one for me. Take away your trouble and leave me be. Away, take all your trouble. Away. Take it. Away. Understand I won't be the girl that used to cry about a man that never came through. He did lie all the time. Let's talk about a fool, yeah. Yeah, you're talking while you're dripping, yeah. You keep talking, so when you gonna understand? You can never be the man I stand. You can never be the one for me. Take away your trouble and leave me be. Away. Take all your trouble. Away. Take it. Alpha, tell me why you wanna call me when you know that you're not my type. This ain't gonna offend me. No need to explain, please. This ain't gonna offend me. Away. Take all your trouble. Away. Take it away from me.
Yes, and that was Ira Star with Away. So yeah, that's a recent tune, a recent banger that dropped not too long ago. Shout out Ira Star. But yeah, let's take it back to something a bit more familiar. This one is Tenny and Davido with For You. Feel free to sing along and dance if you know this one. Let's go.
It's 12 a.m. in the morning. I still do it for your call. Don't do me like this, oh yeah. Aramiti walona. Cause I don't do it, oh. I don't do it, see, so yeah. And I still dey pray, oh. I still dey pray, oh yeah. Oh, don't know. Oh, my ego now for you.
Oh, my ego for you.
Oh, my rabba now for you. Yeah.
Oh, my rabba for you.
Go, me now for you. Yeah.
Okay for you.
All the motor for my garage for you.
What's the motor in the garage for you? Yeah.
Oh, my ego now for you. Oh, my rabba now for you. Yeah.
Oh, my rabba now for you, girl.
Go, me now for you. Yeah. All the motor for my garage for you.
What's the motor for the garage for you? OBO, Adele. 30 million for you. For the best for you. I put my life on the line for you. Nobody
the motor from my garage for
Leave the
you.
motor for the garage for you.
Oh, yeah.
Badass.
Tell me what you want. Tell me what you needed. Oh shit.
Yes. That was Tenny featuring Davido for you. So guys, we are way past halfway of the show, and before I hit you with some more updates, let's just talk about something. Let's talk about something really quick, which is the music industry. This is something that I'm somewhat involved in, around, and I'm passionate about, because a lot of people that aren't musically inclined have made a lot of money off music written, recorded, performed by others, and the people that are the creators, performers of the music, are left with very little at the end of their career. Music is, I would put it somewhat in the same or similar category as sports. When you're active and you're in the limelight, it seems like there's a lot of money accessible to the star or the main player. But if we were to expose the business side of it, we can tell that very much isn't the case. For example, I've heard of instances where an artist would grind, promote themselves independently, and eventually build a fan base and attract the attention of a music or a record label. Then in that excitement, they sign a very bad contract, which basically ties them into a deal where almost, if not 100% of their royalties or songwriting credits are owned, even their publishing are owned by the record label. And for those of you that aren't too familiar with the music business, it's essentially, it works in a number of ways, but two basic ways. It's either you're signed to a record label or you're an independent artist. Those are the main ways we can really think of it. Now, as you can imagine, when you're independent, everything is done by you. So everything you gain is yours. Everything that is required to be spent, every bill, is yours responsibility as well. So from your marketing, travel costs, studio time, paying your musicians or any artists that you will collaborate with, or facilities that you use, that's all on your head. Now, the whole purpose of having a record deal is supposed to take that financial or business aspect of it. It's to let go of that burden that now lets the artist focus on creativity and making great musical content. And even though that's how it's supposed to be, that's not really how it is. An instance where, for example, someone like Whitney Houston, I think it's well documented how her finances turned out in the music aspect anyway. There are many documentaries and there are many interviews or things or videos on YouTube that go into a lot more detail of how her record deal was structured, how some of her hit songs that she had performed or written, where the money was actually spent or where the money went to. I'm going to make up a scenario here, but even though I'm making it up, this is a scenario that is likely to happen to a lot of musicians. They sign a bad contract, something known as a 360 deal, and there are a variety of 360 360 deals. But as you can imagine, in a circle, you have 360 degrees. And in the middle of that circle, I'm just being a bit imaginative here. In the middle of that circle, you have the artist. Anything the artist does within that 360 deal, a percentage, if not total ownership, goes to the record label, which may not seem like a bad thing if the record label is paying you. So sometimes you hear about the record label signed this person for $15 million or $25 million or $100,000. What they don't tell you is that initial transaction of 100,000 or 12 million is actually a loan that is repayable in a number of very interesting ways. So if the record label signs a deal for 12 million dollars, what is in the fine print is that 12 million has to be repaid. And if you're not, as an artist, if you don't have people around you or you're not business savvy yourself, what ends up happening is the record label will now start spending the money for you in very intricate ways, and it's very indirect. You know, there are a lot of third parties involved, but what you'll find is that, bear with me one moment, guys, we're having a bit of a technical issue on the YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, I've just noticed that there's a bit of an issue with the webcam. Just bear with us, guys. We will come back. Bear with us, guys. We'll come back with the video. Once we can get that back up and running in the studio, we'll get you back on board. But yeah, so as to continue on with what I was saying, the studio executives may not directly be involved in siphoning the funds from the artists into, business bank accounts. But what ends up happening is that, the record label would say, look, we need X amount of albums from you. And that is like part of the contract, the 360 deal. So you have to give us 6 studio albums. 6 might be a bit excessive, but let's just say 6 studio albums. And in those 6 studio albums, we expect to recoup. We expect these albums to make the money invested. So if we've invested 12 million, your 6 albums, on average, you need to be averaging about what? You need to, let's be fair and even and say you need to make $2 million off each album just to pay us back our money. But that doesn't include your feeding as an artist. It doesn't include your accommodation as an artist. It doesn't include the studio time. So if you're not business savvy, you think you've got signed for 12 million, like the record label have paid you. What you don't understand is actually it's a loan. So you thinking that you've been signed, you now go and buy a house for, let's be moderate and say $500,000. You buy a house for $500,000. That 500K that you've just put down, hopefully not as a deposit, but like you've bought the house outright. You're doing that with loan money that you're gonna have to pay back. What's not really told is how you're gonna pay it back. And just to speak to the point, I know, sorry guys, I'm ranting on about this, but I'm very passionate, and I think I want to take this time to kind of expose it, so that we appreciate musicians and artists. When we see them doing what they're doing, we have an appreciation for it, because it is a big sacrifice to choose that line of work. So yeah, back to my point. Sorry guys, I've been jumping a bit, but back to the point. the studio will say, look, you need to be in the record label would say, you need to be in the studio making music. Now they'll tell you, we have this fantastic studio that we can make available to you anytime you want. What they don't tell you is that they are investors or they have shares in the studio. So when you're using those studio facilities, it isn't free. So this state-of-the-art studio, you're being charged by the hour. And sometimes, depending on whether you book in advance or if you just show up because you feel like it, the rate at which you're being charged might be exuberantly above because it's not a pre-booking. Now, you have to do public appearances because you're signed to the record label, right? So you're obliged by contract to do certain PAs, radio appearances, for example, showing up to radio stations. Now, as an artist, you have a certain amount of pride in, especially if you've been signed for 12 million, you have a certain amount of pride in your appearance. So you know what the record label does? We've got a stylist for you. That stylist doesn't work for free because that stylist has a family, possibly, and at least has somewhere that they stay, or at least an office that they practice in. So they have bills as well. You're being invoiced and you're expected to pay that out of your 12 million. Because now you're a celebrity, you can't just walk around on the street. You've got to have entourage, security. Depending on which places you go to, you might have to have more security or a different type of security. All of these are associated costs. Every time you go somewhere and, maybe you eat or you order a food, or sometimes you have to take an Uber, every flight you take to go to some of these events, you're being invoiced from it. And you yourself as an artist, you may not see these invoices, but there's someone somewhere adding these costs up ready. Like once it's time to recoup funds, they are ready to come back at it and take those funds away. Now, I'm saying this not as a jab at the record labels because they need to do what they need to do, but it's just sad because so many artists, the month of June is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so many artists have died in the strangest of ways, some suicide, some overdosing on drugs, others have taken their own lives. And I'm saying this to say these are some of the battles that these artists have to fight after they sacrifice, months, if not years of their life to make musical moments that we can make as consumers, we can make memories to. Some of our children's birthday parties, a song was played and something happened and we'll remember that forever. Some of us that are married, we have our first dance with our spouse, or our first dance with our parents, to these songs that somebody has sacrificed time and life to produce. And at the end of it, they're left alone, cold, with a big bill, simply because they weren't educated or managed well. So this segment, I've just taken the time out to just bring awareness to some of the things musicians have to, or not just musicians, artists, songwriters, some of the battles that these guys are facing, and they can never tell you these things at the award ceremonies. For anyone that's won an award at school or at your place of work, the acknowledgement is great, but it's very few times there is a significant financial backing behind the recognition. Sometimes that the reward is the recognition, and that's it. So yeah, I just wanted to take that time to just ease us into this next moment of music, but also to bring awareness to what artists, musicians, songwriters, even sometimes people like comedians or actors, these are some of the battles that they face. It seems like they get paid a lot, But the more you get paid, the more taxes, and with a certain lifestyle is an acquired cost, and there's nobody there to teach a lot of these people this life. So yeah, it's just taking a moment to recognize, acknowledge, and just share some insight in that world. But on a more brighter note, I'm sure a lot of us will remember or have memories to this next song we're about to play. This one is D'banj and One Day Cole and Mo Hits with Mary. Let's go. Yes, what a classic. That was D'banj, One Day Cole, Don Jazzy with Mo Hits with Berry. Now, yeah, that is such a fitting track. We are almost at the end of the show. The time has come. I have talked a lot to you, at you. We've heard some good tunes. But yeah, I want to round up with this music. Still talking on this theme of music, musicians, mental health, and Don Jazzy, the Don Dada himself. He's a genius. I've made many memories to music that Don Jazzy has been instrumental to. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. More grace, more success. Yeah, he's at the center of this one once again. It's like I don't know. It's like Don Jazzy. He's had 2024 has been an interesting year for him so far. So it has come to light that Rema, the one of my favorite Nigerian Afrobeat artists, that is currently signed to Maven, has spoken out, saying that he doesn't feel appreciated where he's at, or he feels mismanaged. This is paraphrasing quotes here, and a speculation about him terminating his contract with Maven. Maven is the, dare I say, the modern age Mo Hits. What Mo Hits was for us, or for me back in my younger years, that's what Maven is today. And Don Jazzy at the center of it, at the forefront once again. Don Jazzy is reported to have remarked or responded in saying he invested more than 2 billion naira in Rema. But once Rema started making money from his music, which in itself is a great thing, and it's a great thing in itself for Rema to be able to make money off his own music. That's an achievement in itself. But Don Jazzy is referring to the 2 billion naira he invested once he started making money from his music. He felt that he wasn't being treated well. And he also closes it off by saying upcoming artists often don't realize how difficult it is to sign an artist. The contract he had with Rema was favorable for him, yet he felt like he wasn't being treated right and decided to terminate it. But he wishes him the best. And yeah, I'm dare I say, quite a very big Rema fan. The moment I heard Iron Man by Rema, I was smitten. I am a huge supporter of Rema, even if he makes music or some of his creative art isn't to my taste or my liking. I'll always support that young man. He's got a very great story as well. Before music, he was a hardworking young man, and yeah, this worries me because I must say, Don Jazzy, it's like there's something in the water that he drinks. It's like no matter what happens, Don Jazzy finds a way to succeed. And also looking at the track record of music artists when they were with Don Jazzy and shortly after leaving Don Jazzy, whether it be Mo Hits with D'banj, One Day Cole, Dr. Sid, Tiwa Savage, in the more recent times, they still go on to do great things, but it doesn't seem quite the same. There's something. So I'm, as somebody that's creatively invested in Rema, I'm worried, because I thought this partnership between Don Jazzy and Rema would go on for a lot longer. If these speculations are true and Rema has terminated that relationship, that would be very shocking. But then also, aside from that, going back to what we were speaking, or what I was speaking about in regards to record labels and ownership and investments. So I think this year in February, Universal Music bought or was in the process of buying majority stakes in the Nigerian record label Maven Global. So anybody that knows about record labels and the music industry will know about UMG, Universal Music Group. They've been pivotal and behind some of the greatest artists of our generation, of many generations. And also they've been behind or conspiracy behind some of the greatest tragedies in the industry as well. And they have taken a very strong interest so far as to offer money to purchase stake in the record label, which is a great thing for any artist signed to Maven currently or in the near future, because that means they now get access to an actual global machine that can distribute their art to many markets across the globe. And there's more chance, or there are more opportunities for Nigerian-based artists or people that are signed to this particular record label. But then, obviously, there is money. There's been another group called Shot Tower Capital that were approaching or trying to buy a similar stake in Maven, and there's a supposed figure flying around of $125 million. Now, I'm not too sure what that translates to or what that converts to in Naira, but I'm sure it means a lot of money. And possibly Universal may offer the same or more. Some people are speculating between $150 to $200 million. Now, with that kind of money, there are expectations and there are deliverables. I just hope that it's something that doesn't end up taking advantage of the talent that we have in Nigeria. And I hope it doesn't end up being the source of other tragedies. But on that note, I want to thank you all for spending the time with me this Saturday morning. And I will close out with a song by a UK producer called J5 featuring Skepta and Rema, Dimensions. Thank you so much. Once again, this has been the ATN show. Thank you for everybody locked in, local, international, nationally. We want to thank you for your time. Also want to thank the producers and the executives of the radio station. Thank you for the opportunity and the platform. And before I go, guys, I must remind you to follow us on our social media. Once again, we have our YouTube, Instagram, Spotify as well, so you can catch up on our shows on Spotify. That's a great one, guys. For those of you that have your Spotify subscriptions, if you don't catch the live show, just follow us on Spotify and you'll see all of our shows updated there. X or Twitter and Facebook. And once again, any messages or if there's anything you want to talk to us about, our WhatsApp line is open and on 24/7, just like our radio station here at Tag Radio. My name is Mike DeRay. This has been the ATN show. I hope you have a lovely weekend and have a great start to the summer. Now I'll leave you with this lovely song by J5 featuring Skepta and Rema, Dimensions. Stay blessed. Have a great weekend. Peace.
When the beat drops, all the girls wanna sing along. Me, I go to give them the vibe to the kingdom come. The place where I come from be another dimension. Nobody will look my face when I dey on my own. I've been on the road for a long time, trying to get a bread so my family go survive. Some of my brothers stay with this tough time. They wanna be free, they wanna see the sunlight.
Man, it's getting ugly, still I look for the beauty. Girls selling the coochie for the Gucci. All I see is good girls trying to show love. Same time, all these groupies acting bougie. I came in the game like, yo, excuse me. Shout out my OGs and shout out my juvies. Get robbed for your carty with a little Uzi. Brothers shooting clips like an action movie. And I know it seems stupid, but brothers ain't seen no love, they need Cupid. Even though we're winning, we're still sinning. And this ain't gonna change overnight, it's deep rooted. Flashbacks of dead bodies and gunshots. Last time I see my brother's face was a mugshot. PTSD will leave permanent scars. Can't lie, man, I ain't the same brother that I once was.
When the beat drops, all the girls wanna sing along. Me, I gotta give them the vibe till the kingdom come. The place where I come from be another dimension. Nobody will look my face when I dey on my own. I've been on the road for a long time, tryna get a bread so my family go survive. Some my brothers they with this tough time. They wanna be free, they wanna see the sunlight.
I was taught to listen to my elders. I can hear the youths cry, I'm feeling so helpless. Open up my third eye, I'm feeling so selfless. It's the same old story, different occasion. Nigerian, Ghanaian, Jamaican, Ugandan, Congolese and a Bayesian. You could be a star or you could end up a patient. Got a mind that you step, blood on the pavement.
Bad man don't threaten me. You know big who don't die before. Father forgive me my sins. I reminisce all the things I've done wrong. Please put me under your wings. I see they pray me my man them live long. Cause many won't quench the fire. Jalo gon' take us higher. When the beat drops all the girls wanna sing along. Me I go to give them the vibe till the kingdom come. The place where I come from be another dimension. Nobody will look my face when I dey on my own. I've been on the road for a long time, tryna get a bread so my family go survive. Some of my brothers they with this tough time. They wanna be free, they wanna see the sunlight. I've been on the road for a long time, tryna get a bread so my family go survive. Some of my brothers they with this tough time. They wanna be free, they wanna see the sunlight. Anytime I enter call 911, me I get the flow with this gunfire. Why they hate on me cause I'm rich and young? Watch me and